All right, today we are diving deep into Salesforce Service Cloud. We're going to pop the hood and look at all the essential automation tools that can seriously transform your support team's efficiency. And let's be honest, just get rid of all that boring, repetitive work. Let's get right into it. Sound familiar? Your agents are just clicking the same buttons, typing out the same emails, and navigating the same screens over and over again for pretty much every single case. I mean, it's not just a time waster, it's a one-way ticket to burnout. But you know what? Absolutely does not have to be this way. In this explainer, we're going to take a tour of all the built-in tools that can automate these processes. This is all about freeing up your team so they can focus on what they're actually good at, creatively solving real customer problems. So, here's the game plan. First, we'll look at tools that give your agents a direct productivity boost. Then we'll see how you can put the entire case lifecycle on autopilot. After that, we'll talk about the guardrails that enforce your business rules. And finally, we'll check out the tools that give supervisors that all-important bird's-eye view. Okay, let's start where the action happens, with the agents on the front line. These are the tools that are going to give them immediate relief from that daily grind. And the undisputed champion here has got to be the macro. Just think of it like a recorded playlist of actions. So instead of an agent doing 3, 4, maybe even 5 steps by hand, they just click one button and boom, Salesforce does the rest. It is the ultimate way to guarantee speed and, just as important, consistency. And this is a perfect example. An agent needs to put a case on hold and let the customer know. Doing that manually means changing the status, finding the right email template, hitting send. You know the drill. With a macro, it's just one click. All 3 of those steps happen instantly. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because there's a critical difference to understand. The basic macro we just saw works on one case at a time. But the bulk macro, you'll know it by that little lightning icon, lets you take that same power and apply it to a whole list of records at once. Now, to unleash this power, there are just a couple of things you need to do first. You got to enable a setting called Enhanced Lists for records like cases and contacts. But once that's done, just think about it. You can select, say, 50 cases from a list and send a standardized update email to every single one of them with one powerful click. That's a game changer. So macros are fantastic for those individual tasks. But now, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at how we can automate the entire journey of a case, right from the moment it's created. And the story pretty much always starts right here. A customer has an issue, they go to your website, and they fill out a form. This is where the whole automation journey kicks off, with a feature called Web-to-Case. Web-to-Case is super powerful, but it has some rules of the road. Salesforce gives you the HTML for your website, but you have to set a default owner for any cases that don't get routed. Also, keep an eye on that 5,000 case a day limit, and remember, your existing validation rules still apply. But the real magic? It automatically links the new case to the right customer just by using their email address. Okay, so the case is now sitting inside Salesforce. But who's supposed to work on it? You can't just let it sit in a pile. This brings us to the really critical step of intelligent routing. You've really got 2 main options here. On one side, you've got case assignment rules. Think of these as your first line of defense. They use data on the case, like where it came from or what type it is, to send it to the right team or queue. But omnichannel, well, that's the next level. It's way smarter. It actually checks to see which agents are online, what their skills are, and, this is crucial, how busy they already are before it routes the case in real time. This means you're not just assigning work, you're actually balancing the workload across your team. So now, cases are getting to the right people. But how do we make sure they're handled on time and follow all your company's policies? This part is all about setting up those automated guardrails that maintain service quality. This is where escalation rules become your safety net. This timeline shows it perfectly. A high-priority case comes in. The clock starts ticking. If, after a set amount of time, in this case 4 hours, that case is still sitting there, the rule automatically kicks in. It reassigns the case to a manager and sends out an alert. This is how you prevent those critical cases from ever falling through the cracks. Okay, here's another super common challenge. You want to provide different levels of service to different customers, right? Maybe a gold tier customer should get a faster resolution time than a silver tier one. So how do you enforce that automatically? The answer is a really powerful tool called a flow. This specific kind of flow is brilliant because it runs before a case is even saved. So when a new case is created, the flow instantly looks at the customer's account tier, calculates the correct resolution date, and stamps it right onto the case record. No manual work, no guesswork for the agent, it's just done. And what about keeping an eye on outgoing messages? For sensitive situations, you might want a manager to sign off before an email goes to a customer. That's exactly where an approval process comes in. You can set it up so that when an agent drafts an important email, it's automatically routed to their manager for review. The manager can then approve or reject it right from the case feed, giving you total quality control. All right, for this last section, let's put on our service manager hat. Automation is amazing, but supervisors still need a command center to monitor what's happening, track performance, and get a clear view of everything in real time. This is the Omnichannel Supervisor Console, and the Agents tab is really the heart of it all. A manager can see at a glance who's online, who's busy, and who's offline. They can check each agent's current workload against their total capacity, and even see how long it's been since they last accepted a new piece of work. And the best part? The filters stick, so their custom view is always ready to go every time they log in. So real-time status is one thing, but what about the actual history of a case? You know how it is, with emails, call logs, and internal notes all piling up. How can a manager or another agent get up to speed quickly without reading a giant wall of text? The solution is the chatter feed component. And this isn't just one long, messy timeline. It's got these brilliant built-in tabs that automatically sort every single update. You need to see only the emails back and forth? Click the Emails tab. Just want to see the internal notes? One click. It takes a potentially chaotic history and turns it into an organized, super searchable record. And let's wrap this section up with a really critical heads up for any manager or admin: data integrity. It is so important to understand what happens when you delete a case. As you can see, it's not just the case that vanishes. All of its related activities, comments, and files, they get deleted right along with it. But the core customer records, the contact and the account, they stay safe. It's a vital distinction to make sure your whole team understands. So we've toured the whole automation toolkit, from simple one-click macros to intelligent routing that builds a smarter system. You've seen the potential to completely eliminate manual work and free up your team to do what they do best. The only question left is, what's the first repetitive task you're going to automate?